Yes, huh. Okay. So the next topic which we had to do was one of your definition called as relevant market. Yes, relevant market. Write this one down. Relevant market can be relevant geographic market, relevant geographic market, and relevant product market, or both. Yes, sir. So what is this relevant geographic market or your relevant product market? Relevant geographic market. Relevant market is defined in 2R. Geographic market is defined in 2S. And product market, relevant product market, relevant product market is defined in 2T. Huh. It is a market in which conditions for demand or supply of goods or services are distinctly homogeneous and can be distinguished from conditions prevailing in neighboring areas, is called as relevant geographic market. Okay. Sir, now what is this concept of relevant market and why is it important for us in Competition Act? So people, relevant market is nothing but whenever a CCI decides a case. Sir, now we saw yesterday that beer market was there. Sir, there was a case which was filed in front of CCI, Competition Commission of India. Now, whether is it wrong, whatever they are doing, is it bad, not bad, it everything, entire thing depends upon whether it is affecting our relevant market or not. Sir, if it is irrelevant to us, we will not even be bothered. If it is relevant to us is when the CCI will probe into things. Meaning what, sir? It will dig. So, sir, to know what is that relevant market, which competition it will look into, if at all, yes, there is something wrong or bad, is what is called as relevant geographic market, relevant product market. So, sir, there are two types of market. One is relevant geographic market. Now, what is this geographic market, sir? Market in which conditions for demand or supply of goods or services are homogeneous and can be distinguished from conditions prevailing in neighboring areas. Sir, now what do you mean by this? Sir, now there are geography means what, sir? I'm talking about area. They are telling, sir, in this particular area, there are this, I mean, whichever now if I take entire India, now there are certain particular areas where the products or the services, whatever is supplied there, they may have a higher demand or a lower demand depending upon that area. And if you compare the same product in a different area, sir, they may not have demand at all. Sir, this concept is called as relevant geographic market. Sir, give us an example. Jammu and Kashmir people, sweater. Sir, relevant geographic market there, people, how many ever competitors are there in that market for sweaters? Everyone will be able to live and everyone will be able to sustain. Sir, no, sir, only one person is there. Now, that is something which will bother Competition Commission of India. Sir, now take the same product, sweater, in Tamil Nadu, sir, in Rajasthan. Do you have a relevant geographic market? Sir, there is only one person supplying sweaters there. It's okay. Even if he enjoys monopoly, it's okay. CCI will ignore it upright. Who will buy sweaters in Rajasthan, da, say CCI. So, to know the relevant market is very important. Just because you are enjoying a monopoly, no one else is there, that doesn't mean that that itself is wrong. It will look into other circumstances as well. So relevant geographic market, read market in which conditions for demand or supply of goods or services are distinctly homogeneous, meaning they are separated from some other market but they are homogeneous here and can be distinguished from condition prevailing in neighboring areas. Sir, here it is homogeneous. Here all of us fight for same thing. But when compared to our neighboring area, neighboring state, we are different, sir. So here the market is different, the product is different. Are you getting this point? All of you? Relevant geographic market. So you can take all your examples there. Say for example, your AC. Sir, I come here. Every day I struggle. Day, where is the remote? Da, sweating da. Yes, people, do you need, I don't know, if you go to Ooty, Ooty does not have ACs at all. If you go to Kulu Manali and all, if you go to 5-star hotel also, there are no ACs. There will be heaters. If you go to Jammu Kashmir and Manali, Kulu Manali and all, there is no concept of AC there. They will call you mad if you have AC there. It will drop to minus. What will you do with AC? So there are heaters. Heaters are mandatory there. So sir, the relevant geographic market is different. The demand there is different. The competition over there is different. You cannot say, sir, there is one whichever AC, Blue Star. Sir, Blue Star is not available there, sir. No fair competition, sir. Filing a case over a person there. It doesn't work like that. Getting this point, all of you? Sir, the next market is called relevant product market. Market comprising of all those products or services which are regarded as interchangeable by consumer, comma, by reason of characteristics of products or services or prices or intended use. Or intended use. No, it is this only. Where is this? Geographic market 2S 2T. Yes, huh. If you guys want, you can write down that example also. If you guys get confused tomorrow. Demand for AC is different in, say, for example, Rajasthan or Tamil Nadu. Whatever you want, you can write. Demand for AC is different in Rajasthan when compared to Jammu and Kashmir. So basically, what are we doing here, sir? We are bifurcating the product based on the geography. Sir, next one, relevant product market. Sir, what do you mean by relevant product market? People, I'm talking about a market where a particular product is substitutable. You have more than one. Here, our area is not our criteria. We do not look at this product in the terms of area. You just look at in terms of certain characteristics. What is that? Do you have an alternative? What are the prices? And do you have options? So, sir, a relevant product market is where it can serve any place. It can be one particular area or it can be one entire India as well. But you have substitutes available. If not this, there is this. So, sir, there is always one product available for another product. Sir, if that product is affecting any competition, then it will become relevant product market. Geography, sir, area. Product, sir, the product is the main essence here. Sir, if not this product, there is one more product in the market. The product is interchangeably used. If not yours, there is one more person's market there. Sir, that becomes a relevant product market. Sir, give us an example. People, take the example of milk. Wherever you are, people, milk is required. Sir, it can be Nandini, it can be Amul, it can be Heritage, it can be any person. Don't you think, irrespective of the place, if I cross the border, there can be a new brand. But milk is a product market where interchangeably used. You go to a milk parlor, sir, if at all the brand you want is not there, haven't you compromised and taken a different milk and went home? Interchangeably used. It may be depending upon your characteristic. It can be because of the price or what you are using it for. Sir, very simple example. Your SIM card, telecom sector. Jio is there, Airtel is there. If this person is not working, after 1 year you will port. If that person is not working, you will port. Papa, they are defining competition as winning consumers' loyalty. What are we loyal? Today, your friend says, "Day Airtel, very nice network." You say, "Yo, whichever I buy, there will be no network," and everyone will have the problem. So, people, relevant product market for telecom. Now, here is entire India. I will use, person in my next state will use, the entire Indians will use. So here, what is the criteria I'm seeing? Whether do I have an option for my particular product? You go and ask for a pen, 10 rupees. Sir, you have 10 options available. Relevant product market. So where a product has a substitute available, that is called as product market. Is this clear? All of you? No, instant coffee, filter coffee, coffee only, no? Here I'm talking about brands. Yeah? Okay, sir. So, sir, what are the characteristics which are considered to define your geographic market or relevant product market. Geographic market, people, your nature, your language, your customs, your tradition, what is your particular area's demand, all that will make impact in relevant geographic market. In product market, sir, relevant product market. While determining what is relevant product market, the Competition Commission will consider these things. What is that? The first one, physical characteristics or the end use of the goods. What are they using it for? Price of the goods, consumer preferences, exclusion of in-house production. Basically, where is it being produced? Is it with you, or it is like jobbing, or you're offsourcing the things? Existence of specialized producers, classification of industrial products. So, sir, Competition Commission of India will have a due regard when I'm considering a particular relevant product market. What and all I have to look into it. Competition Commission of India, based upon the case, they will look into these things. Sir, when I'm considering relevant geographic market, I will consider the trade barriers, if at all there are any regulatory trade barriers, local specification requirements. So what is that specifically required in your area? National procurement policies, that is your policy only. Adequate distribution facility, whether I'm able to reach out to the nook and corner of the entire place. Transportation costs, language, consumer preferences. Now, if for example, if you take Karnataka or any state also, for every 40 kilometers, your consumer preferences change. Correct? It will have an impact, no? Even language will have an impact. Say, for example, if I have to talk about entertainment sector, language makes a lot of difference. And we saw yesterday, entertainment is also a service. Yes. Now, for example, if I have to say, okay, Hindi movies do not run as good as they run in Maharashtra or Delhi in South India. It's the same way, other way around, right? So language has a implication. Sir, consumer preferences. If you go to any hotel here, your sambar will be sweet. If you travel 40 kilometers this way, you will get something called as this Kara Kolambu. Sir, it becomes spicy. Tamil Nadu. Sir, if you go towards Andhra, again it becomes spicy. Consumer preferences are changing with every location you change. You look at our place only, man. Uttar Kannada, Dakshin Kannada, you have stores, you have food available. So consumer preferences changes with your geography. Yes, sir. Need for secure regular supplies or rapid after sale services. So, sir, in this geographic market, whether the regular supplies are met and the need to secure the after sale services. After sale, basically your guarantee, warranty, maintenance. So, sir, all these are considered when I'm trying to decide what is my relevant product market, what is my relevant geographic market. Is this clear? All of you? Service we saw. Okay, sir. People, the next one, write down anti-competitive agreements. People, in this lesson, the major things are three, people. One is anti-competitive agreement. Next one is your combination, regulation of combinations. Third one is abuse of dominance position. Anti-competitive agreements, abuse of dominant position, regulation of combination. Only three, people. If you know these three, and of course certain regulatory aspects of Competition Commission of India and some procedures. If that is done, this chapter is done. Yes, simple one. These three are the heart, people. These three are the heart of Competition Act. If you know these three, nothing else is there. Yes. Sir, anti-competitive agreements. Section 3. Sir, important, very important. Remember the sections. Sir, what does this thing say? No person or enterprise. No person or enterprise shall enter into agreement in respect of production, supply, distribution, storage, acquisition or control of goods or provision of services which causes appreciable adverse effect going forward. Let us just write it as AAE. Adverse effect on competition. Such agreements shall be void. Such agreements shall be void. Some definition. Sir, one definition was similar to this yesterday. Cartel, if you guys remember. So people, cartel is also an anti-competitive agreement. That is the reason you guys can see relevance there. So what is this, sir? Sir, no person or enterprise, they shall not come into an agreement. Agreement to do what? Sir, agreement in respect of production, supply, distribution, storage, acquisition or control of goods or provision of services. Which causes, so sir, just because you guys enter into an agreement to produce, to supply, that means your regular contracts. That itself is not anti-competitive. An agreement, when will it become anti-competitive? When that agreement has an appreciable adverse effect on the competition. Sir, what is appreciable adverse effect? Appreciable means what, people? The impact, can I say, is high? Appreciable, high. Sir, appreciable adverse. Adverse, can I say negative? Negative. Sir, impact. So your contract is having a very high negative impact on the competition. Sir, such agreements will be considered as anti-competitive. So not all agreements are anti-competitive. Yeah, for example, DMart asks, say for example, Maggi company to produce more because he wants more supply. There is an agreement to control the production in respect of production. But is it anti-competitive? No, it is not having appreciable adverse effect. He is able to meet the demand. He has to do it. So sir, you need to check whether it has an appreciable adverse effect on competition. Is this clear, all of you? Okay, sir. Sir, following agreements are presumed following agreements are presumed to be anti-competitive? Following agreements are presumed. Law will not even check if these things happen. It is presumed, people, it is assumed. If at all you are entering into these agreements, they have a anti-competitive agreements. So, sir, you will be punishable accordingly. The answer is same for horizontal agreements also. What is that? I'll tell you. Following agreements are presumed to be anti-competitive. The answer is same for horizontal agreements as well. Yeah. Okay, sir. So following agreements. What agreements? The first one. An agreement which determines purchase or sale price. An agreement which limits or controls production, supply, technical development. Technical development or provision of services. Or provision of services. Allocation of geographical market. Allocation of geographical market or number of customers. The next one is bid rigging. Bid rigging or collusive bidding. Collusive bidding. Mergers, we'll see. Mergers is the third topic. That is what is combination. That is a different topic only. Yes. Huh. Huh. So people, anti-competitive agreements we saw, sir, they are controlling something. They are called as anti-competitive. Okay, sir. People, anti-competitive agreements can be of two types, or forget about anti-competitive. Agreement itself can be of two types. One is called as horizontal agreements. Horizontal agreements. The next one is called as vertical agreements. Who is good in axis and all? What is vertical? What is horizontal? Do you guys know? What is horizontal? This or this? See? Pakka, sir. Sir, what is horizontal? This, sir. Sure. Aha. Shashikant, straight line, okay, but which side? Straight line like this or like this? People, horizontal is this. Vertical is this. Yes? Okay. Yes, sir. So people, the law says horizontal day. I will presume that there is anti-competitive agreement. What do you mean by horizontal, people? People, horizontal, all of us are in the same chain. Meaning what, sir? I am a manufacturer. another manufacturer comes and enters into an agreement. I am a trader, another trader comes and enters into an agreement. I am a outlet, another outlet comes and enters into an agreement. Sir, give us an example. Domino's, Pizza Hut comes and enters into an agreement. Wherever you work, I will not come. Wherever I open my store, you do not come. People in the same, horizontal means what? Sir, we work in the same way. We work in the same product. We work in the same line of production, same line of supply, same line of distribution. Basically, in the supply chain, we are in the same place. It's called as horizontal agreement. Now imagine people, anything, any product, it will always have, I'll tell you few products. These things will always be distributed in the market. Whenever you guys see a McDonald's, you try to search in next 100 meters, you will find KFC. You try to see Domino's, in the next 100 meters, you will find Pizza Hut. Pakka you will find. Wherever you find Sangeeta Mobiles, you will find Universal. You try to see that. Majority of the cases that will hold true. Yes, sir. Sir, this is a healthy competition. Now imagine if it happens the other way. What is that, sir? If you come and work in Koramangala, Domino's says, I will not come in work in some other place. So let us distribute it. You don't come here. I will not come there. Here you have no choice. There they have no choice. Killing competition. These will be assumed to be anti-competitive. So, sir, what does the law say? If it is a horizontal agreement, CCI has no work at all. Meaning what? I will straight away come and file a case on you. Whether to prove it is anti-competitive or not depends upon you. I will file a case. I will start taking the action. You have to prove, sir, there was nothing like that. Sir, it was a healthy thing. Whatever we entered into an agreement, it was not to control or it was not anti-competitive. It was to promote competition only. You have to prove. CCI has no burden of proof at all. They need not submit even one document as evidence. When, sir, if it is a horizontal agreement. Because you guys are in the same supply chain. Getting the point? Sir, now what do you mean by vertical? Producer enters into a contract with the dealer. Franchisor enters into a contract with franchisee. Teacher enters into a contract with student. We are not same. We are not in the same line. We are distributed in the supply chain. Here, sir, what can a manufacturer control in the terms of producer? It can be anything else. He is not limiting competition here. In this, these are your general agreements. Manufacturer supplies goods to the wholesaler, wholesaler to the retailer. They have a contract in the supply chain. It is genuine. It generally will happen. Correct? So, sir, in vertical agreements, anti-competitive is not assumed. Vertical agreements, I'm not telling whether this is legal or this is illegal. Anti-competitive assumes all horizontal agreements to be anti-competitive. Now, if CCI files a case on you, you have to prove to come out. If it is vertical, sir, CCI should prove that you guys were doing anti-competitive agreements. CCI files a case on you, you are free. You need not even submit one document. CCI should submit the documents to prove you guilty. Are you getting the difference? The burden of proof to make you guilty is with CCI in horizontal. No. CCI in vertical, horizontal with the other party. So generally, if I have to tell you in law terms, in horizontal agreement, the evidence should be provided by the defendant. Vertical agreement, the evidence should be provided by the plaintiff. Plaintiff, the one who files the case. Defendant, on whom the case is filed. Is this clear? All of you? Okay, sir. Now, sir, what are the horizontal agreements, sir? In which they are saying that yes, there is anti-competitive presumed, assumed. First one, sir, if at all the agreement is to determine the purchase or sale price, controlling the price, sir, it is considered as anti-competitive. It is presumed. Sir, second one, limits or controls production, supply, technical development or provision of services between the same people. So you're controlling output here. First one, I'm controlling price. Second one, I'm controlling output. How much should be there, how much should not be there. Third one, you don't come to my market, I will not come to your market. Yes, allocation of geographical market, or these customers are yours, these customers are mine. Morning, some 10 to 12 I will be open, 12 to you, 4 you be open. So let us distribute our customers. If there is things like that, it is not good, it is anti-competitive. Sir, first one, price fixation. Second one, control of product output or supply. Sir, third one, allocation of market. Fourth one, bid rigging. What is this bid rigging? People, what is this bid rigging? What is rigging? I guess you would have heard of rigging. Heard of rigging? In election, they say, this time there were rigging of votes. Election, they say, no? No, sir. No idea. Okay. People, bid rigging or your collusive bidding has some two meanings. What is the first one, sir? Fraudulent. Sir, bid rigging in terms of election. Sir, one person puts 10 votes, sir. Yeah, in our country that happens. Correct? So, sir, bid rigging. The purpose of election, where is it getting served, people? You have to nominate a person whom you want. But in reality, are the elections happening fair? Depends. Correct? Sir, so is the purpose being served? See, they will not specifically write whether it is horizontal or vertical. You need to see who are entering into contract. Do they belong to the same supply chain or are they scattered in the supply chain? If they are same, then it is horizontal. If they are scattered, it is vertical. No. That does not come under CCI. Okay. Bala, how can that happen? Now, say for example, if two competitors says that, now you imagine, in Karnataka, Domino's says pizza, you don't come. In Tamil Nadu, pizza says Domino's, you don't come. Tomorrow, cartel is an example of horizontal agreement. Correct. Tomorrow, whatever is the price Domino's sells the pizza at, you have to buy. So horizontal agreements do not end up well. Getting the point? People bid rigging or collusive bidding, what is this? Now let us take the example. Yeah, you will get a fair idea. Sir, Mumbai Indians, RCB, CSK, all three this time they participate in the auction. Yes? Okay. Now what is the auction? Imagine, sir, Dhoni comes out of CSK. Just imagine. His tenure ends. Yeah? I mean, just imagine. Sir, CSK, Dhoni, tenure ends. People, even back then, when the first bid happened, Dhoni was the highest bidded player and he was bidded by everyone. All the teams fought for Dhoni. Yeah? Now, the purpose of IPL auction is that whoever bids more, they get the player. Okay. Sir, Mumbai Indians want Rohit Sharma, RCB wants Virat Kohli, Chennai wants Dhoni. This is fixed. Now these people agree outside only. When Dhoni comes for auction, you people keep quiet. When your player comes for auction, the retention period is over. I will keep quiet. Because you want Kohli, you want Rohit Sharma, you want Dhoni. Sir, in the auction, Papa, that person is coming and standing. No one is lifting the board. Chennai comes and says, I want Dhoni for 2 crore. People, is Dhoni value 2 crore? Is Dhoni's value 2 crore? Nowadays, your extra players are coming for 2 crores. That is the value of this. Yes, sir. One IPL you play, your entire generation is settled. Yes. Yeah. Day. First IPL his bid was 17 crores. I'm telling you 2 crore example. And you're telling it is fair. If it is screened online, no, people will hit you. Yeah. Okay. Yes, people. Is the purpose of auction served here? No, sir. Horizontal agreement. What is bid rigging, people? Government or private people calls for tenders. They come to participate in the auction. Now you are also going. How? Come da, we are all friends. Putting hands on each other, going together. You are distributing. What is that? This year tender you take. The price is fixed here only. What is the purpose of the auction? Whoever bids the maximum gets it. Sir, now what did the buyers decide? We are fighting amongst us. We are quoting a maximum price. End of the day, it is expensive for our pocket. So let us do one thing. Government auction does not come only once. There are 3 people. Yeah, big 3 people. Who are they? I'm just telling you an example. Assume Infosys, Tata, Reliance. Infosys says, for this project, you both don't contribute. You both don't bid. Sir, Infosys alone will bid. Next one, Tata, your turn. You enjoy. Next one, Reliance, your turn. You enjoy. Sir, all of them in the same chain, entering into an agreement to control the auction is called as bid rigging. Rigging, people, prefixed. Yes, fraudulent or people quoting a same price is called as bid rigging. Are you getting a fair idea, all of you? They may ask you a question directly, what is bid rigging? Getting the point? So bid rigging can happen in many ways, people, where we allocate the market to quote the less price or to predetermine the price. Yes, all these are the cases where bid rigging may happen. Is this clear, all of you? There is a concept going inside. No. Bid rigging is anti-competitive. That is horizontal agreement. Bidding as a practice is intended to enable the procurement of goods or services on the most favorable terms and conditions. That is the purpose of the bid. Invitation of bid is resorted to both by government as well as private bodies. But the objective of securing the most favorable prices and conditions may be negated. Negated, you have made it of no use. The purpose of bid only you have negated. How? If the prospective bidders collude, come together and act in concert together. Bidding should happen in isolation, not together. Yeah? Such collusive bidding or bid rigging contravenes the very purpose of inviting tenders. Then what is the purpose of inviting tender? So they are inherently anti-competitive. By default, they are anti-competitive, and because of which they are treated with severity in the law. Meaning what? Utmost punishment. They Competition Act, without mentioning severity only, there will be a slap. Competition Act, they are mentioning that your penalty will be severe. You can't wake up only. That will be your level of penalty. Bid rigging. Getting the point, all of you? Sir, does the act apply to street vendors? See, Competition Commission majorly looks out for big players in the market. It never says I'll only look at them or them. If you see the definition, what does the definition say? It says person, enterprise. Correct? Yes. So basically the big giants in the market are covered. See, some of the most commonly adopted ways in which the collusive bidding happens. First one, agreement to submit identical bids. CSK, RCB, Mumbai, all of them quote 2 crore only, not more than that. Identical bids. Where is the purpose of auction? Second one, agreement as to who shall submit the lowest bid. Sir, RCB and MI agreed, CSK you quote 2 crores. We will not quote at all. So you quote the least one, you will get him because no one else is quoting. Yes, sir. Agreement for the submission of cover bids. What is cover bids, people? Now imagine, sir, CSK, Mumbai, RCB. Now these two people entered into an agreement. What? They at any cost, CSK wants Dhoni. Let us bid it namesake. What is that? Let us just inflate the price. CSK says 5 crore. These people say 10 crore. CSK wants Dhoni. At least after this 10 years, how will they live? Whatever is the price they will buy him for. Sir, whatever. Now what will happen, people? CSK, they will have a budget to buy the players. The budget will come down. Now instead of they able to put it on a very good player, that particular budget will come down. Yes, sir. Are you getting the point? Sir, agreement for the submission of cover bids. Cover bids is just a inflationary bids. That is, there is nothing, you do not have an intention. It is just cover. That is, there is nothing intention to buy. Agreements not to bid against each other. Hey, you don't bid on my player, I will not bid on your player. Agreements on common norms to calculate prices. So how to calculate? For example, government tender. Assume government has called a tender to construct a flyover. We have to send a calculation. How much of cement is required? What is a square feet? How much you charge? Both of us are deciding. We are sending the same calculation together. Same thing we are sending. Yeah. Sir, next one. Agreements to squeeze out outside bidders. All of us. Reliance, Tata, Infosys. Let us squeeze out the outsiders. Only we have to participate. Agreements designating bid winners in advance on a rational basis, on a geographical or a customer allocation basis. Initially only everything is decided. The bidding is waste of time. For example, even your elections happen. It is decided that election process is waste of time. Your Companies Act, the big players decide what to happen. What will you guys do? 1 or 2 shareholders. It is decided. Correct? So, sir, bid rigging, horizontal agreement, by default, inherently anti-competitive. Is this clear? All of you? Correct. See, anti-competitive agreements are void. Void contracts are not enforceable by law. So, tomorrow CSK, RCB and Mumbai Indians agree and still they go out. And when they come inside, they bid. CSK can't file a case on the other two. Sir, we had an agreement. They won't bid, but they are bidding now. That cannot happen. Yes. Sir, the next one is called as vertical agreements. Vertical agreements. Sir, in total there are 5 vertical agreements. The first one is called as tie-in agreement. The next one, exclusive supply agreement. Exclusive supply agreement. Third one, resale price maintenance. Resale price maintenance. Fourth one, exclusive distribution exclusive distribution agreement. Fourth one, refusal to deal. Refusal to deal. So tie-in agreement. Agreement which requires purchaser of goods as a condition of purchase the purchase of some other goods. Sir, tongue twister. The purchase of some other goods. Fourth one, exclusive distribution agreement. Exclusive distribution agreement. Tie-in agreement. People, what is this tie-in agreement? You guys remember that we used to get this whenever now I don't know. We used to get a brand called Milo. I mean, the milk powder. Milo? No, you don't belong to this generation. They used to get something called Milo. People, just like your Boost, Horlicks, there used to be a brand called as Milo. They introduced the first bat, cricket bat. Yeah. Sir, whenever we were kids, the green color, yes. Sir, I wanted to buy Milo because that bat used to come for free of cost. People, these are called tie-in agreements. Where a consumer, because he wants this, he wants to buy this, is called as tie-in agreement. So vertical agreements, again I am telling you, by default they are not anti-competitive. You have to prove that there is something problem, that is there is something anti-competitive. Sir, one example, sir, one case, sir. Yeah. I'll be explaining this case in, parts, not in one place. But here I'll tell you. Sir, there was a case between a person called as Ajay Devgan. You guys have known this person, versus Yash Chopra. Yes, sir. The case which was filed by Ajay Devgan in CCI, not Vimal Pal Masala. Sir, Ajay Devgan versus Yash Chopra. Now, what happened in this case, people? The case relates to 2012. When this Yash Chopra films, they had come up with two films. One was Ekta Tiger. Yeah. The other one was Jab Tak Hai Jaan. Yes, sir, which relates back to 2012. So Yash Chopra in 2012, they were releasing two movies. One is called Ekta Tiger, the other one is called Jab Tak Hai Jaan. Sir, Yash Chopra had one agreement. What is that? People, Ekta Tiger was released first and Jab Tak Hai Jaan was yet to release. That is there. That was their next project which was going to come in the next 5 or 6 months. Now, what was the condition, people? The condition was for all the single theaters. What do you mean by single theaters? All your standalone, not multiplex. The single theaters. The condition was that if you want Ekta Tiger now, you have to compulsorily buy Jab Tak Hai Jaan also when it is released. I repeat, what was the agreement? It was agreed between all the single theaters. What was that? If you want Ekta Tiger now, sir, the box office ka Badshah, Salman Khan's movie, if you want that, you have to buy Jab Tak Hai Jaan. Jab Tak Hai Jaan, end of the day, was a very big flop. So you guys can think why this tie-in agreement was even agreed. Yeah. So people, if you want one product, you have to buy another product. Don't you think it is a tie-in agreement? What is tie-in, people? To buy one product, the other product is hooked, is called as tie-in agreement. So sir, Yash Chopra movies, they did this when they came up with Ekta Tiger and Jab Tak Hai Jaan. Yes sir. Sir, what happened sir? The condition was that if at all Ekta Tiger is purchased, Jab Tak Hai Jaan should be released in Diwali, during Diwali time. Sir, during Diwali, Ajay Devgan's Son of Sardar movie was being released. Now Ajay Devgan goes to theaters to release his movies in Diwali. Where is theater? There is an agreement to release Jab Tak Hai Jaan. You cannot release anything else. Ajay Devgan got irritated. He went and filed a case in Competition Commission of India. Sir, there is a anti-competitive tie-in agreement. Getting the point? Yes, this is the first fact I am telling you. Again, we'll be seeing something else. There again, I'll continue the story. Till now, what is tie-in agreement? All of you? Okay. We'll come back. I'll not be telling it one place. Okay. Sir, exclusive supply agreement. What is this? Condition on purchaser. Condition on purchaser as a restriction to deal only in goods, of seller and not to deal in any other goods of any other person. Exclusive supply agreement, condition on purchase as a restriction to deal only in goods of seller and not to deal in any other goods of any other person. Sir, there is one person, A, is telling B, you have to sell whatever I tell you to sell. You should not sell any other person's product. Sir, person A is telling B, you should not sell any other product. Sir, vertical agreement. Exclusive supply agreement means what? You have to buy only from me and you have to sell only my products. You are not supposed to sell any other products. This is called what, sir? Exclusive supply agreement. Sir, how is this? Where is this? You go to Domino's. Will you get Pepsi there? Will you get? No. Sir, you go to Domino's. Will you get a McDonald's burger there? People, Domino's is not, this is a franchisee, right? Whatever you guys see, local people, they would have purchased, they would have given royalty and they would have opened. Yeah? They are selling Pepsi. Yeah? From when? They sell only Coke, no? It is there now. Huh? Oh, Domino's sells Pepsi, not Coke. When has this changed? I don't remember only. I remember only eating pizza with Coke. I don't remember having Pepsi in my hand. Okay. Okay. Swiggy, yeah, then I don't know. Okay. Pepsi and Coke same color. Okay. I don't know. Probably I remember eating pizza only with Coke. Okay. Pizza Hut is Pepsi. Yeah, okay. Sorry. I take back. Okay. So people, what is exclusive supply agreement? So people, I am not supposed to deal in any other product. Yes, sir. Exclusive supply agreement, people. Generally, this happens in the case of franchisees. So real life example, people, I have only taken a franchisee. Yeah. So in my outlet, I'm not supposed to sell any other product other than whatever my franchisor tells me to sell. Yeah. So, sir, this is what exactly happens. Yes, sir. So, once what had happened, we had a negotiation that, so my franchisor tells me to sell because he has a tie-up. He has only Coke and Mountain Dew. So the same thing was passed on to me also, but the demand for other products were also there in my particular area. So I said, sir, can I add one more product? He said no, and I have to go with it because, sir, franchisee agreements works on exclusive supply agreement. When I am dealing with your product, he can have a restriction that you should not buy someone else's product. It is valid also. Is this clear, all of you? Yeah. Huh. Sir, resale price maintenance. Condition that purchaser shall charge the price. Purchaser shall charge the price stipulated by the seller. Sir, resale price maintenance. Manufacturer is telling the retailer, you should not sell at a price less than this. The law is saying this is anti-competitive. What is happening, people? Sir, there is a manufacturer. He will give his goods to many dealers, right? He will give goods to many dealers. So the manufacturer is telling you should not sell a product at a price lesser than 500. So wherever you go, this product will be 500. Now imagine, people, Nokia, okay, forget Nokia. Apple telling Flipkart and Amazon, you guys have to sell the product at 50,000 only. Where is competition, people? Whether you go here, the product price is same. Where is competition then? You have to leave the other person to decide the price. Are you getting the point? Sir, now one real life example. Recently, one more slap. Recent slap. Who, sir? Your very popular brand. Maruti Suzuki. What happened, people? Very recent one. India's biggest car maker, Maruti Suzuki, fined for rupees 200 crores by CCI. What is the fact? The Competition Commission of India imposed a 200 crore fine on India's biggest car maker for anti-competitive practices. CCI said Maruti Suzuki restrained its dealers, manufacturer stopping its dealers from what? From offering discounts to its customers beyond the price, that is beyond those prescribed by Maruti Suzuki. How much ever I tell you, that is the maximum discount you can give. People, if you say the maximum discount is 5% wherever outlet you go, then what is the use, people? Where is competition? It even threatened dealers with strict action like stoppage of supply and collecting penalties on offering extra discounts. It even threatened people on stoppage of supply. Stoppage of supply. Why are you repeating it, sir? If you do not buy Minda, or if you do not act the way I tell you, I will not deal with you anymore. Make sense? All of you? Yes. So resale price maintenance is that, where the manufacturer is imposing a condition on the retailer or any person saying that you should not sell at a price below this. Getting the point, all of you? There are many. So exclusive distribution agreement, agreement to limit, restrict, withhold the output or supply of any goods or allocate any area or market for sale of goods. Agreement to limit, restrict, withhold the output or supply of any goods, allocate any area or market for sale of goods. People, what is exclusive distribution agreement? I am telling you, all these are not by default anti-competitive. Even the case what I showed you, when CCI started probing into Maruti Suzuki, it took them 2 years to prove. Now whatever I am showing is just a final verdict. When they started, it was more than 2 years ago. Getting this point? Sir, okay, exclusive distribution agreement. Franchisor telling the franchisee. Now, for example, again, my example only I'll tell you. I have an agreement saying that wherever I have set up, wherever I have set up a hotel, in and around that hotel, in the next 3 kilometers, you should not give your franchise to any other person. Sir, what is the agreement? Sir, there is, okay, let us take McDonald's. McDonald's, whoever is buying the franchise, yeah, sir, don't you think in the kilometer of, in the distance of say 500 meters, 1 kilometer, why can't people start 2 McDonald's? Have you ever seen such outlet? Or KFC or Domino's or whatever brand you take? Why? Because they have something called as exclusive distribution agreement. What is that? You come and set up your product in this area. I will make sure no one else comes and set up in that same area. Because I am giving you the product. If I give it to someone else also, who will come? You guys will die. So this is valid unless until you prove it otherwise. Yes? What is the distance? There will be coverage. See, whenever you're setting up in a mall, the mall has a different customer. A person who is walking by the road, he will not go and eat in the mall. A person in the mall will go and eat in the mall. Correct? So, sir, these are called as exclusive distribution agreement, where whenever you're setting up an outlet, you specifically stop them from opening one more outlet. Make sense? Is it making sense, or you're just understanding, or just nodding your head? Sir, next one, refusal to deal. Condition which restricts persons to whom goods are sold or from whom goods are bought. That is what it depends. Now, say for example, in HSR, Cult Fitness, within 500 or 1 kilometer, you can find 2 that both belong to the same person. Both belong to the same person. Yes, now because of the competition there, he was not able to. Exactly. So that is valid there because it is done by the same person and the crowd is more. It depends upon your agreement. That is what I'm telling you. It is not by default anti-competitive. It is valid. Getting the point? But the CCI should prove what is wrong, what is not wrong. Refusal to deal people, condition which restricts person to whom goods are sold or from whom the goods are brought. So what is that restriction? It can be anything. You should not buy it from anyone else. If you buy, I will stop dealing with you. I will not sell it to anyone else apart from you. So these are called as refusal to deal agreements. So all these 5 agreements, what does the law say? In the case of all the 5 agreements, it is presumed that such agreements cause appreciable adverse effect, and the burden of proving will be on defendant. Sir, it is not presumed. Hence, burden of proof is on the plaintiff in the case of vertical agreements. Getting the point, all of you? Yes. Now go for a break. Come back 7:50.